Hey there, and welcome back to this random ass Soul Level 1 playthrough of Dark Souls 3. So last time we went ahead and finished the High Wall of Lothric, so today we're just gonna jump straight into the Undead Settlement and we're gonna see how it goes, starting by of course lighting the bonfire. So after lighting the bonfire I head down where the gate opens and I start getting mauled by some dogs, but I do eventually kill them all. And I also proceed to kill all of the hollows because, well, I felt like it, what can I say? I'm a bloodthirsty maniac is all. Heading on over, I'm taking a detour behind this cart thingy and bashing those dogs for some alluring skulls, which I'll use probably in the Deacon's fight or something. Then I go ahead and talk to Yol so he can join me at Firelink Shrine because, you know, I'm not the kind of guy who'd say no to 5 free levels. Wait. Pick up the homeward bones nearby and we're finally ready to make some progress, so go ahead and pull the lever to open the gate. After a good while you can eventually get through the other side and kill the poor guy who's just taking his morning stroll. Also light the second bonfire. Moving along now, we're gonna head into the stage's first house, where these two workers are waiting for us, but one of them is shy, so he prefers to stay indoors. But it doesn't matter, he's gonna face the wrath of my sword anyway. Punch this body bag and you can get the small leather shield, which is very important because it makes parries a lot easier, so as you can see I go ahead and equip it immediately. So with that out of the way, it's time to go ahead and whack this poor guy who's just taking his morning stroll as well, and also whack this body bag for Loretta's bone, which we'll take once we get down there. So moving right along, I'm gonna claim the 2 charcoal pine bundles that are right over here, and afterwards I'm gonna head down by means of plunging attack this guy, and also jump attack this one, and as I'm heading out I see drop me something, which is his hood apparently, so just because I can I'm gonna go ahead and equip it because it looks silly, which is what I've always wanted. Charge attack this one and head right to claim some more charcoal pine bundles. So while I'm going off, I'm gonna take this time to equip some fire bombs as well as the silver serpent rings, which yes I totally did forget to equip last time. And those fire bombs are going to be used to blow up some people, let's just say. So throw one at this set of barrels over there to blow them up and kill all of these poor guys. And throw another one at this set of barrels over there for, well, throw another one at this set of barrels. I said, throw another one at this set of barrels over there and finally blow them all up. So I then proceed to slay the rest of them with my sword because there's an item that I want over there and I need to get these guys out of the way first. So the big lady comes over and I take out my shield to try and parry her, but she decides to throw a spell, so I decide to just head and try for a backstab, but as you can see I failed miserably. Twice, as a matter of fact. And then she decides she's going to give me a hug, which I do not want, so I'm just going to actually get my backstab for real this time, and use this opportunity to finish her off, and finish off the rest of these poor guys who were just standing around waiting for me to do the work on the big lady, but now that she's gone, I'm free to take them out as well. So now it's time to claim my rewards, which include, but not limited to, a random soul over here, as well as an Estus shard, and behind this tree is one dude that I'm gonna kill as well as an ember. After walking the Path of Thralls, I come to this place where writing this body bag grants you the Flame Stallplate ring, and I'm then set to move on with the rest of the stage for realsies this time, where I start by beating up these poor fools because I don't want them to bother me while I'm actually heading down into the rest of the stage proper. Get another hood for your troubles. And also there's this guy who I will totally flex on with a random parry. And there you go, easy one shot. So now it's time to whack some cages, so I'm gonna start by failing miserably of course. Then I'm gonna go ahead and fail a second time, and a third time just for good measure. But afterwards I'm going to successfully whack the cages, as is generally the better idea. I'm also going to whack this poor cage, which hasn't actually done anything, and then I'm going to go ahead and get smacked by this cage twice, and once again the third time, because you always need to get whacked 3 times. But I do eventually take her down, and slapping this body bag grants you some more souls. And over here is another important item, as well as a cage that I will not club against. some charcoal pine resin, which is better than the bundles because it lasts for longer. Drop down to the hole for the Warrior of Sunlight, and most importantly, an Estus soup, which heals you. So moving along, I arrive at the second big lady, who is camping overhead on the platform, throwing spells at me. So I just wait for this guy to come, and he whacks me upside the head with a hammer, so I whack him upside the head with my sword. And then I go ahead and parry the big lady, but it actually manages to connect on me anyway, which is not very nice. You just took away half my HP, get a hit, but get staggered for some reason. You start rolling and get another hit to finish her off. Heal yourself and get a random Titanite shard from this guy. How nice of him. So head on up the stairs and climb the ladder as well. And break these pots just for good measure, and you can claim another Titanite shard before dropping back down. We're not done with the Titanite shards quite yet. Head down this little path and there's another one just waiting for you. Moving on, kill the great big red guy before the bonfire and pop an ember so you can fight Podrick, but well, it's not important, so you don't get to see it. Also, I decided to go and take the bonfire first just so I don't have to restart the entire stage if I die like an idiot. So moving on, it's time to go ahead and get arrows shot at my face. But actually they're going to get shot at their faces, not mine. So instead I take the time to loot everything I can find around this tree, even though it's all just random pointless junk, but you never know, maybe I'll make use of it one day. Could be fun. So here I'm just slowly backing off in the hopes the giant will shoot at them, but he decides to shoot at me instead, so I decide I'm going to go and take them out, but I fail miserably because I couldn't see what I was doing, but the giant ends up killing all of them anyway, so it kind of worked out. Anyway, go ahead and smack this poor guy around, dodge another arrow, and pick up some random souls before making the jump and narrowly avoiding another arrow, and finally claim your undead bone shard, which is pretty much the only worthwhile thing I picked up in the last 30 seconds. Anyway, moving on, it's time to go ahead and claim your pointless reinforced club, as well as head on over to the backside to pick up another important item, which is the Mortician's ashes right here. And then I head on over to the boss, but not the boss himself, rather the door that's in front of him to open the shortcut. So moving on, it's time to first and foremost jump on a dog and pick up this ember right here, that's right next to it. Moving on up the stairs, I go to this place where all these jerks are throwing fire bombs at you before dropping down for the secret bonfire, but also this Titanite shard right over here after murdering these two poor workers. So there you go, another bonfire. So while I'm here, I'm gonna take this opportunity to go back to Firelink Shrine in order to, first and foremost, give the ashes to the Shrine Maiden. It's not a Shrine Maiden, but you know what I mean. Anyway, so she let me buy some new stuff, which includes the 3 embers, as well as the key to the door in the undead sewer. I also take a visit to Andre to reinforce my Estus flask, which is very important. And I take a look, but I can't reinforce my weapon just yet, so he's gonna have to wait. And I go ahead and see Grey Rat to give him the bone that he asked of me. Before I leave, talk to the handmaiden again in order to sell off all my souls, because I wanted to buy the tower key, which costs 20,000 souls, but, well, as you can see, I'm a couple thousand souls short, so I'm just going to ignore that for now. And I'm also going to burn the undead bone shard to increase the healing that I get from my Estus flask, which is very helpful. Back to Undead Settlement, I'm going to head up this path and take the stairs and beat the fireball throwing dudes before heading on over to save Pyro Daddy, is what I'm gonna call him for now, just in case I want to use some pyromancies later on. So moving on here, I'm gonna drop down, smashing the cart as I do so, because I'm a disrespectful being like that. Take the Estus to heal the fall damage you took and get blocked from the sewers by the dog that's just chilling in the entryway, so we're gonna take care of him and we're gonna drop down inside where a whole bunch of rats awaits us. So we'll start off by killing them all, make sure that you let one of them hit you for no reason. Also pick up this pointless weapon, which I will not try to pronounce because that is bound to end in disaster. And now there's a couple more rats to kill, both of which will get their hits on me, and the big rat will go down with a jump attack and give me a pointless blood bite ring. But now that they're all gone, I'm free to climb up this ladder and open this door, which will open a convenient little shortcut back to the bridge bonfire right over here, so that's always nice. So since I'm heading back through the sewers, and because I already bought the key, I decided to go ahead and take the time to explore down here, but there's really not much. First and foremost is the loincloth, obviously. And aside from that, it's basically just a whole bunch of skeletons and some pointless junk to pick up, but obviously I'm gonna take my sweet ass time looting everything. So now that all the skeletons are gone, not really, there's another one. I pick up this soul before moving on. Now that I'm at the end of the sewers, there's a couple of other things I need to pick up around here, not this bug, which just gives you a pointless heavy gem, which I'm not going to make use of. But there is 2 titanite shards over here, which is indeed very important, and there's also this asshole who tries to surprise attack you. Anyway, there's also this item over here, right up there, which is completely pointless for the run, but I decide I'm gonna go ahead and try to pick it up anyways, as I always do, but, well, as you can see, I'm not having a whole lot of success with that. So yeah, it was completely pointless, but it was kind of funny seeing me fail over and over, so I decided I would keep it in so you guys could see it. So there you go, 7 fire bombs later for a pointless shield. Anyway, moving on, there's a couple of rats I need to kill first. As you can see, I'm gonna choke a little and end up getting hit by them. There's also a pointless talisman, but more importantly, if you climb up the ladder, there's someone very important that I have to see here, and I'm gonna call her Miracle Lady. So, as always, I'm going to be a completely antisocial bastard and just skip all of her dialogue. I'm going to touch her, as she asked of me, which, don't take that out of context, and I'm gonna send her back to Firelink Shrine before moving on. So I'm gonna take the shortcut through the sewers back to this bonfire over here, because I'm planning another trip to Firelink Shrine. As you can see here, there's a couple of things I need to do while I'm over there. So back to Firelink, I'm gonna pay a visit to Mr. Andre so I can reinforce my weapon with those extra 2 titanite shards I found. Now I have a broadsword +3, and I'm also gonna go ahead and see Grey Rat for the best emote in the game, of course. Back in the settlement, I'm gonna start off by going the wrong way, because that's obviously very important. And just because he tried to attack me, I'm gonna go ahead and kill this guy for the sake of it. And now it's actually time to go ahead and fight the boss. But before I really get into the fight with the boss, I'm gonna take my time to kill all of the guys who are just standing there, because I don't want them to bother me while I'm actually fighting the boss. So there you go. This guy wakes up and he dies. So as I'm standing around trying to see if there are some more guys that want to come after me, the boss decides to wake up and start coming after me. So I'm gonna start by breaking his first ball sack, which I did in 1 hit, then break the second one, and because these guys were trying to get in my way, I just go ahead and cut them down as well. This poor guy's gonna get sit on, and this one's going to get killed by a flaming sword. So now there's all these cysts or whatever they are dropping all over the place. I tried to whack his arm, which is stupid, there was no reason to do so. But I finally go ahead and kill the main ball sack, which only takes 4 hits with my fire-infused sword. So now I'm waiting on him to lift his ass up the ground, so I can go into phase 2, and he manages to sit on me a little. But that's not important, so falling down, I go ahead and smack that ball sack, which is under his leg for some reason. I managed to move to his back and pop the ball sack he has on the back as well, and circling back around lets me hit the hand for the kill. Also, I have never said the word ball sack so many times, and there you go, boss down. So now that the boss is dead, I'm gonna take another trip to Firelink Shrine, because I now have what it takes to make boss weapons, actually. Except I'm not going to make any weapons, because, well, I don't have the stats to use them. But I will be making some boss stuff anyways, including, first and foremost, once I get to it, Pontiff's Left Eye, yes. And I'm going to equip it right now, because, well, it may prove useful later on. There you go. So with that done, I take another trip to the Shrine Maiden to buy the tower key for 20,000 souls, and then I also send Grey Rat to die before casually leaving him and going back to Undead Settlement. So now it's time to meet a very important character, by which I mean the Onion, soon enough. Jeez, he sure took his time, didn't he? So I'm gonna go ahead and give him a brief talk, but well, I don't really care about his dialogue, it's just for the sake of courtesy, I guess. So now riding the elevator on up allows me to suddenly introduce myself in this giant's life before leaving him forever. And now I can drop down from the elevator and go see Mr. Onion again in preparation for the fight against the fire demon that's all the way over there. So I'm not really worried about the fight against these things because, well, they're generally easy enough. So I retreat back to get Sigurd to come with me first and foremost, and afterwards I start dwelling on him. Things were going well until I got one shot like a doofus, so that was kind of funny. Coming back after some time allows me to try my hand at the fight again. This time I actually dodged the jump attack correctly for once, and I managed to take him down, no problem. Well, yes, there was a problem, but you saw it happen. Also, here's a drink and the free emote, thank you. Moving right along now, I'm gonna smack this corpse to pick up its items, which is actually a set of armor, and well, it's nothing too interesting, but even though the helmet's better, I decide to not equip it because I want to keep my city helmet, but I do put the actual piece of armor, which is basically the only thing I equipped from it. Afterwards, I moved on a little further in the stage, grabbed the chest for some human pine resin, and started getting mauled by some cages, so that was a fun experience. But after a while I did eventually manage to kill them all. Up on the roof is a possibly very important item, which is the Flynn's ring, which might see some use later on in some degenerate strats or something. Dropping down here allows me to go grab the stuff that's over there as well, including a couple of bones right over here. Thank you. And dropping down further allows me to cause property damage for one and grab some pointless fashion with a random attack and get the Chloranthi ring, which is actually very important, so I will equip it right now. So using a homeward bone, I go back to the last bonfire I rested at before heading back to the end of the stage again, where I take the elevator down instead, which this time leads me to this godforsaken Boreal Knight, or whatever his name is supposed to be, I don't remember. So I use the charcoal pine resin that I had left just because I want to make sure that I don't screw this up, which, well, as you can see, it's not going well so far. He's kind of kicking my ass, and I'm trying to desperately avoid all his attacks and heal so I don't die, but well, I haven't really done much of any damage to him, so right now it's basically just trying my best to survive and nothing else. Get slapped to the ground and somehow manage to avoid dying, just narrowly, like 6 times in a row. Thankfully he missed me with that first attack, otherwise I very well could have died. I was trying to use the pillars, but it really wasn't working all that well, and especially not when you roll into the attack like an idiot. But this time I actually did use the pillar properly, and well, I kind of decided I was just gonna go ahead and try to kill him, so there you go. I managed to do it without dying, surprisingly enough, so get his sword, which, well, I can't really use, so there. But I'm gonna go ahead and open the door to finally claim the last bonfire of this area. It's technically the first bonfire of the next area, but you know what I mean, that's all it is. And that's just about going to be where I end it for today, so yeah, once again, thank you guys for watching this very mediocre video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, that's cool. If you didn't, well, sorry, I tried my best. And I'll see you all in the next video whenever it comes out. Bye!